Absolutely is the facts of what happened on the ground that day. They were there pushing out a vehicle earlier. They had helped each other.
But that's not what you said. That's not
absolutely what I said.
Have you seen State of the Union with Kristi Noem?
You've also been criticized for your comments. The shooting, we should note, was Wednesday at 10:37 a.m. Eastern. Just over 2 hours later, the Department of Homeland Security put out a statement definitively asserting what had happened, defending the ICE agent, accusing Renee Good of domestic terrorism. That's a characterization that you reiterated in a press conference half an hour later. Now, Republican Senator Tom Tillis said, quote, "It was very unusual to have a senior law enforcement official to draw a conclusion about an event where the scene was still being processed. Generally speaking, law enforcement would recognize that a life was lost, that families are changed forever, the shooter's life will change forever. We're collecting video. We're trying to assess the situation." Why did you not wait for an investigation before making your comments?
Well, everything that I've said has been proven to be factual and the truth. This administration wants to operate in transparency. I have the responsibility as the Secretary of Homeland Security to know this information as soon as possible. Had just been in Minneapolis the day before, had already had conversations with officers on the ground.
See, not only was she a domestic terrorist, she was an agitator. This is not the only time she was seen in the streets impeding with law enforcement.
That's when this individual started blocking traffic for minutes and minutes.
You said that the woman attacked them and surrounded them and attempted to run them over and ram them with her vehicle.
Blocked the road for a long time and was yelling at them and impeding a federal law enforcement investigation. And that's what you need to focus on, Jake, is they were breaking the law by impeding and obstructing a law enforcement operation. They were breaking the law already, and these officers were doing their due diligence of what their training had prepared them to do to make sure they were handling it appropriately.
You said within hours of her being killed, you said that she was a domestic terrorist. How do you define domestic terrorist?
She weaponized her vehicle to conduct an act of violence against a law enforcement officer and the public. They are doing that.
How can you assert with certainty that she was trying to hurt the officer as opposed to she was trying to flee the scene?
You look at what the definition of domestic terrorism is, it completely fits the situation on the ground. This individual, as you saw in the video that we released just 48 hours after this incident, showed that this officer was hit by her vehicle. She weaponized it, and he defended his life and those colleagues around him and the public.
The question is, I don't doubt. My position is, I wasn't there. I didn't see it. Some people say that it clearly showed that she was trying to hit him and did. Some people say, no, she was clearly trying to move her car and flee.
So he didn't see the video. Him, just being a regular general journalist, you did not watch the footage to confirm what you were going to be talking about?
Get away. I don't know. What I'm saying is, how do you know? How can you assert for a fact within hours before any investigation, this is what happened?
The facts of the situation are that the vehicle was weaponized and it attacked the law enforcement officer. He defended himself and he defended those individuals around him. That is the definition. When there is something that is weaponized to use against the public and law enforcement, that is an act of domestic terrorism. It happened in our shores. It happened here in our country.
It happened with the illegal immigrants. The car was crashed. It happened again. These protesters are out here impeding with officers. The officers are out there doing their job as they were commanded to do. Unlike the people in the streets that are being counterproductive, the cops are being productive. They're doing actually what they're supposed to do. Now, I don't understand the conflict. Anyway, roll the clip.
Change the facts just because you don't like them. We will continue to look at this individual and what her motivations were. We know that there was, throughout that morning, she had harassed and impeded law enforcement operations. That raises the suspicion level with all of these law enforcement officers as far as paying attention to what her capacity is. And as you see on the videos, and they've proven out, that this law enforcement officer took the action that his training prepared him for, and he worked to make sure that he could save his own life and those around him.
How can you assert that there's no ambiguity in this before any investigation has taken place?
I had just been in Minneapolis and had been with those officers, had seen what they were facing on the streets every day, and had talked to their supervisors as soon as the incident happened and had gotten the facts and seen videos before I ever went to talk at that press conference. And the Trump administration and President Trump is the most transparent and open government that we've ever had. Give the public the information, give them what they need to know about a situation so they can have the truth as soon as possible.
So if this agents were perfectly fine, if everything he did was accurate, does that mean that other ICE agents should
He
look
wasn't
at what...
perfectly fine. He was injured. He went to the hospital.
No,
He
his
was
actions
treated.
were fine. I didn't say...
In fact, I think a lot of people and guests, and even you yourself, called this situation something very different and untruthful about what it was, as far as...
What did
this
I say that was
individual-
untruthful?
That this was not a correct definition of what was happening on the ground. That this
I
was-
said that your description, they were attempting to push out their vehicle and a woman attacked them and those surrounding them and attempted to run them
Okay, warning. He's about to get really emotional. Roll it.
over and ram them with their vehicle is not what we see on the videotape, and it's not.
It absolutely is the facts of what happened on the ground that day. They
No, it's-
were there pushing out a vehicle earlier. They had helped each other.
But that's not
do
what you
that.
said.
Okay, so Jake Trapper's about theatrics and theatrics only. So instead of clarifying the situation, some lawmakers choose the media circuit. Instead of denouncing the violence and telling them to calm down, Ilhan Omar is on camera on CNN contradicting the truth. Roll it.
However, some left-leaning Minnesota leaders, well, you know, they've been rocking a narrative from the beginning, calling it murder. You know how it is, so we know how they feel.
Yeah, Renee Nicole Good, as you hear her say, she's not mad. She's sitting in her car, peacefully waving cars to get by.
She's trying to guide them like a traffic cop. But instead of doing her job as an English teacher, she was being a traffic director today. I want to challenge the theory Ilhan Omar has. I just want to challenge it. Who knows what's really going on? But I definitely want to challenge that theory and let's see what's going on. I want to challenge it. I don't know. Let's find out. If it was peaceful and she was just guiding people on by.
Shooting. Now this comes in this press conference today, as we're getting new witness video of Renee Good before the shooting. She can be seen in her vehicle blocking agents for several minutes, even dancing to the tune of her own car horn. You know.
Even dancing to the tune of her own car horn. All right, well.
All the behavior of a legal observer.
Most definitely.
There's a weird kind of smugness, by the way, in the way that some of these liberal white women interact with authority. Most guys learn early in life that every confrontation has a sort of escalation chain. A joke, a push, an argument can eventually turn to violence. We spend a lifetime reading the signs, knowing when we're getting close, knowing when to pull back, knowing when we're on the edge of violence. These protesters, they seem completely oblivious, or they think they have a hall pass to the possibility that blocking cops or using their cars as barricades could end violently. Tragically, but violently.
And then you see the other officer who can clearly see the car is move towards the front of the car, which if they are saying that he has 10 years on service and is trained, he should know that you shouldn't be trying to get in front of a moving car.
So part of the job requirement, almost like ESP or the force, would be an agent being able to anticipate the trajectory of a moving car. See, that's an incredible amount of responsibility to assign, but it's not enough responsibility to allow them to carry a weapon.
The world is watching, and the world knows that America has an issue with guns. And police, of course.
The narrative continues as MSN, CNN, they try to downplay the authority of law enforcement.
But the gun thing, the fact that she was shot like this for what? Almost hitting this agent? I mean, the fact...
Yes, that's the fact. She was shot because she hit the agent, actually. We heard the thump. But yes, that's exactly why.
The fact that guns were used and she was shot and killed in this way, to me, is the most horrifying part. Why does an ICE agent have a gun?
Yes. Why
doesn't
enforcement officials carry a gun?
Why? Wow.
They seem to have lost the plot. While, meantime, leftist protesters have lost their mind.
Literally.
Earlier today, there was an unserious display. A man wearing a giraffe costume. He was tackled to the ground. Later released after being taken into custody for blocking traffic. Some are shown.
Let's watch that video from start to finish because we have it. and we're going to watch it. This is one of the wildest clips I've seen on the internet. Roll it.
The rest of you dancing.
Wow. I'm going to let you watch this whole thing.
We're not the radical Antifa left. This is Coachella. Hey, come out and dance with me. Your lunch break is over. Oh, we got the power march. What are we doing here? What? Back up! The rest of you dancing giraffe. Is that the right side of history?
The line is in the middle of the street! It's in the middle of the street! The line is in the middle! The line is in the middle of the street! This is not good!
Okay, so my observation is that the people that come on TV, the lawmakers and the like, they are pushing the narrative against the ICE agents. People on the left are not serious about what's actually going on. They're not really serious about getting the illegal aliens, the criminals out of our country. They're more serious about creating more havoc and chaos. And this is how I know. Jacob Fry talks about this serious situation in a very unserious way.
Anybody can see that this victim is not a domestic terrorist. I mean, my goodness, she's like doing a 3 or a 4 or 5 point turn. This looks like somebody that's trying to get out of there. If doing a 3 point turn or a 4 point turn is a domestic terrorist, then my wife is a criminal every single day.
So when you wonder why the protesters have the galls to go against law enforcement when they're actively doing their jobs in public, look to the law enforcement. Listen to the rhetoric that they spew. It's endless. And if they don't stop, then this will continue. But for now, we'll keep bringing you the updates on what's going on in Minneapolis and all around the world on the Jay Raffato Show.